Welcome to this week's edition of the OCU Athletics Update. I'm Andrew Himes. And this week we're talking to Superstar Athlete of the Week, Lauren Gober, and women's basketball coach, Rob Edmisson. Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to Superstar Athlete of the Week, Lauren Gober. She averaged 15.5 points and 5 rebounds a game last week. On the year, she's averaging 12.5 points and 5 rebounds a game. Lauren, how do you approach every game? What goes into your preparation?
Well, we just try and look at every game, no matter who we're playing. We just want to go in with a lot of focus and intensity. Whether we're playing the worst team in the conference or the best, we just try and play every team the same way.
Your coach talked about how you worked on your game a little bit this off-season, becoming more versatile. How do you feel like that's paid off?
I feel a lot more comfortable driving to the hoop. Most of the time I just stand outside and shoot threes, and that's really easy to guard. I wanted to open up my game.
You've played exhibition games against Big 12 conference team this year. You've beaten Union, traditional power in the NAIA, swept Southern Nazarene, another top team in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Out of all that, what's been the highlight of the year so far?
Probably the last SNU game we played, because that was just such a fun game. We were kind of in a funk. We lost to Lubbock, and we were all just kind of feeling down about ourselves, and that was like the first time we just came back and everybody was clicking. Like, we were just playing just good team basketball.
You have 5 players on the team averaging double figures. What's it like having that kind of talent on the floor all the time?
It makes it great. Like, if one person isn't having a good game, then someone else is going to step up. There's never pressure on one person just to have to score 20 points a game. Like, we just don't need that, which it's good for our team.
You've said that Candace Parker is your favorite athlete. What do you like about her?
I like how she's versatile. She can shoot it outside. She can take it in. She plays great D. She's just a good player, and I think she's a really good role model too.
How do you feel like OCU helps you achieve your academic goals?
Well, I'm a nursing student, and the teachers are just incredible. Like, you can go in and ask for help anytime you're not understanding something, and they'll answer emails. They're really good teachers.
All right, we've been talking to Superstar Athlete of the Week, Lauren Gober. Stars in action next against Oklahoma Christian on Thursday night.
There's a call to be answered. The spirit of competition is still alive inside. The desire still drives. The phrase student athlete has a great ring to it. Lasting friendships are ready to be made. You just want to keep playing. Game on. Learn more at naia.org.
Here on the OCU Athletics Update, we're talking to women's basketball coach Rob Edmisson. The Stars are 17-1 overall, 11-1 in the Sooner Athletic Conference. They are ranked number 2 in the NAIA. And coach, in this last game, you topped 100 points for the 4th time this year. Talk about your team's offensive output.
Well, I think that it's a reflection of our defensive intensity. In all those games that we've put up over 100 points this year, it's a result of turnovers and what I call flipping the floor and getting easy baskets. And when our defensive intensity is at a high level, we can put up a lot of points quickly because we create a lot more possessions. In those games that we're averaging about 30 more shots than the opponents in those games. So it's all about defense and about getting easy shots and getting up and down the floor and playing at a tempo which we like to play, which is fast.
You got 5 players averaging double figures. That's the story every year, though. Talk about your team's balance year in and year out, especially this year. Well,
again, I've said this quite a bit about our team. The strength of our team is our team, that we don't have to rely on any one player on any given night. And a great example of that is, we're 8 or 9 weeks into conference play, and every week the Sooner Athletic Conference picks a conference player of the week. We've never even had one. Because usually it's based on statistics, where one night we might have someone score 20 points and the next game they might score 6 or 7 and someone else scores 20 points. A great example is the Southern Nazarene game the other night. Deidre Caldwell had 17 points the first half, doesn't score at all the second half, and Nicolette Smith has 19 points the second half and didn't score at all the first half. So the balance of our team is what gives us our strength. From a scouting standpoint, it's got to be difficult for opponents to try to decide on any given night who they're going to try to take out.
You talked about that Southern Nazarene game. Most lopsided victory ever over SNU. What went into that performance?
Well, I think a lot of it had to do with just our kids being prideful about the way we've played the games prior to that. All teams find a point in the season where they're kind of in a little bit of a funk, and we were in one with regard to just the quality of our play and not doing some things that we normally do. And I think that we caught SNU at a time where our kids were coming out of that and feeling good, and then obviously we kind of just steamrolled as the game went on. But we were in a stretch where we weren't playing well, and now I think we're kind of back to feeling good about what we do, and SNU just happened to be in the way on that night that we started feeling good about ourselves.
What are some of the challenges that you expect coming up for the second half of the season?
Well, for us, it's just focus. We talked today in practice. We're not going to get any better shape. We're not really going to add anything X and O wise. So at this time of year, it's about teams that can maintain focus and maintain enthusiasm. And because at this time of year, it's 95% mental. It's just preparing yourself to go play, making sure you're on top of your game, and making sure that your mind where it needs to be. If we do those things, I think this team can go quite far.
Another thing you always talk about is team chemistry. How is your team getting along with each other?
Well, I think like most teams, it's an up and down. I think we have great team chemistry on the floor. I think there's times like any team that off the floor there's challenges, but that's part of being on a team. And anytime you put 9 or 10 different personalities together, for the most part, there are going to be some good days and some bad days. But that's life, and that's the great thing about being on a team is you have to learn how to deal with people sometimes that maybe you don't see eye to eye to. Our players have to learn how to deal with coaches that they don't see eye to eye to. And so I think it's all about life lessons, and it's good. If we were to say our team chemistry is perfect, that would be a lie. But I would say that I think our kids all have one common goal, and that is to win.
What things have shaped your coaching philosophy?
Well, I'm an old school coach, even though I'm not an old coach by most people's standards. My players would probably disagree with that. But I've been around a lot of great coaches. I spent time at Oklahoma State and was around Eddie Sutton. I've been around people like Coach Jankovic at Illinois State, the University of Kansas, and Steve McClain, who's now the coach at Indiana University. And so over the course of my coaching career, what I've done, like all coaches do, is you kind of steal from coaches. And you look at things that people do and you go, that kind of fits my personality and that fits my style. And so over the course of 25 years, I've just kind of looted people's ideas and thoughts. There's not too many innovators anymore. Back in the day, Coach Bobby Knight and Krzyzewski and those people and Wooden innovated the game. And now people just kind of go through and take what fits what you do. And ours changes from year to year depending on the kind of kids we have. But I've been fortunate to be around a lot of good coaches and learn a lot of basketball.
We've been talking to OCU women's basketball coach Rob Edmisson. The Stars in action next against Oklahoma Christian on Thursday night. That's it for this week's edition of the OCU Athletics Update. Check back every week for all the latest in OCU sports.